A recent study stated that you are 12 times more likely to get a job offer if the person interviewing you would describe you as having a good personality. So connecting with the person interviewing you isn't optional, it is necessary. In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 different ways you can easily make the recruiter or hiring manager or whoever's interviewing you like you immediately. Let's go. Okay, so let's start with the basics. Smile, eye contact, and open, positive body language. No slumping, no leaning forward, nothing aggressive, just open, friendly, eye contact. These are the basics. So let's start there. The next thing you need to do is you need to seek out connection points. What do I mean by this? These are things that you and the person who is interviewing you have in common. Now, the way I suggest you go about this is part in the moment and part research. Now, the first part is research. Before you interview with a person, go and find them on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you can look, you can see where they've worked in the past. You can see common connections. You can see causes and things they care about. You can see where they went to school. You can even go as far as to look at their activity and go to comments, and you can see comments on posts, and sometimes they comment on things they have interest in. So prior to actually interviewing, go and try to find things you have in common. Now, in person, it's really easy too. All you have to do is kind of look. If you are on a video interview, right, look at their screen. What do you see? Do you see pictures in the background? Like for me, for example, this is a book on chess, so I'm into chess. These are medals from races. I'm into races. It's my dog and my cat, right? These are connection points. And if you're not in video, but you're in person and you're at their desk, look on their desk. Just find things in common. And what you want to do is you want to make comments about these. You want to point it out. You want to find a way to bring it up in a natural way, something about you, and connect with them. It is one of those things that takes a little bit extra effort, but if you can find something that you have in common with the interviewer and you can connect on that, you increase the likelihood of being described as having a great personality, like exponentially. Hey, if you're liking this video, hit that like button. It really helps my channel. Okay, so the next thing I need you to do is I need you to mirror them. So mirroring is a technique in which you're basically going to match verbally, like the volume and like the tone of their voice, and their physical body language. You know, if they're using their hands a lot, you're gonna use your hands. If they are, more reserved, you're going to be reserved. If they are a little bit louder, you're going to be louder. Now, don't do it to the point where you're literally copying their accent, for example. You don't want to do that. But do it in a subtle way that makes it seem like you have similar mannerisms. That is mirroring, and it makes the person think that you guys are similar. And it's something you want to try to be intentional about when you're interviewing. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to do active listening. Active listening is really powerful, and it's basically when they're talking to you, you're nodding, you're smiling, you're making really good eye contact, and you're giving them cues that you are definitely listening. Sometimes when they say things, you repeat it. You go, oh, so what you're saying is, and then that. And basically, just beyond a shadow of a doubt, when you do active listening, they know that you are fully engaged in the conversation, you're paying attention to them, and they feel seen, which is going to increase the likelihood that they would describe you as having a good personality. Next, when it's time to ask questions, at the very end of the interview, and they go, do you have any questions for me? You want to ask them questions about themselves. Generally speaking, people have a more positive recollection of an interaction when they get to talk more, and specifically when they get to talk about things that are important to them. So ask them questions like, what made you choose this company? Which one of your company's values resonates with you the most? What has been the most impactful project you've worked on since you've been here? These are questions that are good, common sense questions to ask in the interview, and they also happen to be about them. So it is really powerful to do that. Now, if you do all this, you're probably going to nail that interview and get to the final interview. But the reality is, a final interview is way different than an initial stage interview. And that's why I made this video here. This video here basically teaches you everything you need to know about nailing your final interview. I'll see you over there.